to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
Hello there, welcome to the Flash and Blade podcast. I'm Siobhan. I want you rocking back inside my heart. Let's meet the plucky girl assistants. Down there, that's the Brian. Brian,
Hi.
I'm not going to ask you if you're American tonight.
Thank you, but I am confused.
All right. Are you not American tonight?
No, I am American.
Oh.
I just the lyrics you said at the start of the show,
Yes.
rocking back inside my heart. You don't have a heart. We know this. It's been established.
Has it?
It
So
has
what
been.
science has reported?
It's in that jar in your cupboard.
It talks to me at night. It's lovely. That's good. Yes, so that's the Brian there. Draw your own conclusions, to be honest with you. And then we've got Lily, the Wonder Girl, who's over there. Hello, Lilibet. And the two little circling dots at the moment. He's having trouble with his camera. He's also got a very sore throat.
Oh my god, he's having so many problems.
Um,
Hang on 1 second.
He's not allowed to watch South Park when he's supposed to be working, and his proper military title was Private Spanky, not Princess Anastasia. It's yet again the quantum event that is Spanky.
Oops,
Wow,
turn that
that was almost good timing.
here because the sun's coming. That's the west, and now, but no.
Oh, you made me
Fates.
laugh just before. You made me
Disease
laugh like
camera
a
guy
is
drain.
the sun.
That's right. Tis the east and Spanky the sun.
What do you got?
Yes, that's
Yes,
And a
it.
cat.
Rosie has come to join us and tell us that it's half an hour before her dinner, and
Hi,
no one has ever
Rosie.
fed her ever in her whole life. See, look at the camera.
Hello, baby.
Well, you know when you never feed a cat,
no,
you get that
ever, ever,
Yes,
Right.
ever.
ever.
yes.
When they starve them, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we've all been there. So, that's who people are. And that's Cat's Bottom. Good.
Yeah.
This is the Flashing
People with
Blade.
cat bottoms.
We're off
Anime
to a
hair.
good start.
That's very nice. How's your week been, Spanky? Oh, croaky, snotty, typhoid Mary person.
It's been it's been like that. I can't tell if it's gonorrhea or the captain trips or what, but some disease is doing its level best to doing your beloved Spanky and putting up a valiant effort in battling it, but it's touch and go at the moment.
Righty-ho. Okay. Release the new strain.
So, I do have I have new authority under my province. I can now release Krakens too. Just
Oh, wow! Oh, you've always wanted to.
Now, is that the actual animal or just the pants without
Animal.
the not
Oh,
holding
both.
up?
Yeah.
Oh, both.
Oh yeah,
okay.
no, I can do the pants thing and the whole mythological beast, and yeah.
Mhm.
I had to cover a lot of ground there, so I wanted to make sure. So I got both.
What you've never heard of Plumber Kraken?
No.
Release the Kraken, ka-chow, and you bend down quick and cha-choo.
It's a horrible.
That's
thing.
why your beloved Spanky always turns the camera off before he turns away to let the wolf in, because you would all be attacked by Spanky's Kraken.
We appreciate this.
Lilibet, how's your week been? Please say normal.
Yeah, fairly normal. Busy.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got one more week before spring break, so
Lilibet was very kind. She hunted down some Girl Scouts and sent me, and after, I don't know what she did to them, but afterwards,
gave them money. That's what I did.
she actually, to torment me, sent me an empty box
I did
of
nothing
chocolate
of the
A
mints.
little bit.
sort. Nothing of
That's
the
what
sort.
I would have done.
I may have had a Monica incident.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
They may have gone in one evening via 2 sittings.
Yes.
Oh my God, Auntie put Skippy's list up.
Yes, I did. How did you know?
I'm well versed in Skippy's list because before Skippy had his list, there was a Spanky list in the Marines.
Yes, that's what Brian and I were mentioning. That I can't read that without thinking of you. It's
There's still 4 bars in Okinawa I'm not allowed into, too.
Only 4?
And one military base. Well, the Okinawans are very nice, and they're like the Swedish like that. Like life sentence over there is like 17 years or something. And so for them, a lifetime ban is like 15 or 20 years. But several of them keep going back to renew it.
Mm.
Like Disney copyright.
Basically, yes.
Well, Spanky's a Disney princess, didn't you know?
I am.
Yeah.
Spanky is many things.
Yeah.
I have layers like an onion. I'm also a Pokemon. Spankachu, I choose you. Ah, and it's like that.
Who holds the copyright on this? Because they're actually breaking it in. It's just a thought. If it's up for grabs, I'll
I
talk
remember
to
which
Sinister.
Disney princess I am.
I'll talk to
Princess
Sinister.
Spank-A-Lot.
It's yes, we managed to do 2 Found Dinosaurs this week.
Film.
Yes.
Finally, first 2 episodes of The Keeper of Traken. That's up on the YouTube
Oh, that's
channel.
a good one.
And we had the RPG last night, which was
The lovely RPG.
hellishly fun.
And we had a lot of technical difficulties, but it came
we
through.
did.
Yes,
Yes, we did.
we did.
We powered through. It was glorious. It was lovely.
It was
There was much mooshings and mashings of bad guys, as well as diplomacy. Oh, we even had diplomacy.
We did. That was the scary part.
That was
The
the
whole,
absolutely
oh my
terrifying part.
God, we're being diplomatic.
Yeah, it was just
How
terrifying.
long's that going to last for?
1 game session.
No, not even that long.
No, not
No,
even.
no, we couldn't. We
no.
couldn't keep it together that long.
It ended halfway through last game session, so
But anyway, we've got the first 2 segments of the Key to Time, and or the first 2 Infinity Gems.
whichever. Yeah,
It's Eddie.
something.
It's. This isn't
We
to be
have
derogatory about you, Brian. At all.
MacGuffin part.
I just
A,
realised it
MacGuffin
might
part
sound
B.
that. It's not meant to.
No, I realize that. I actually call them MacGuffins.
Fair enough.
MacGuffin. See,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
MacGuffins. We're on the MacGuffin
See,
quest.
While this is a quest for you guys to go and find them, the side quests are actually the real quest.
Hence
That's what I
getting
thought.
lots of money last night.
Yes.
Yes, lots and
That's
lots of
it.
lovely money.
I'm not worried you're going to lose it all.
What?
oh yeah, I'm sure
sorry,
about
was
that.
that out loud?
I'm an Atlantean undead slayer, so I'm poor anyway, and will always remain that way no matter what I do. Apparently, because if it's not tattoos, I need a new
They
one.
take a
Well,
vow of poverty.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not
Dragon.
sure it's a vow. It's more like a curse, but yeah.
Gold. Dragon.
Mm.
Gold. Just making the link
Gold is
there.
not credits.
It's still lovely though, isn't it? I mean, you get
It-
credits. you
it's
can buy
very
gold.
hard to lay on a pile of credits considering they're little digital pieces.
Well, yeah, but surely you can use it to buy gold.
You could.
Ah.
Mhm.
Ha. 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 I don't know where I'm going with that.
Me neither.
No,
I
because
knew
it'd
that.
be a very stupid thing to do, quite frankly.
I was just going to let you keep running, though, and see how far you got, because that's always entertaining.
Thank you very much. I'm touched.
Can't wait for you to meet Dunkelzon.
Bless you.
Love my love,
Thank you.
baby.
Right. News.
Yes.
There's news. We've got news.
News?
News.
Never.
News?
News. Yes,
Okay.
indeed. I know. Stop being so shocked. Okay, I've mentioned this before, so it's not new news. But on Saturday, May the 13th this year, the guys up at Derby, at the Hoovers, are presenting a one-day convention called Novel Experiences, The Shelf Life of Doctor Who. And if you give me a second, I'll give you a rundown of the current guest list.
Is this the one we talked about before with all the Just a crazy, crazy, crazy.
It's, at least I would do. Unfortunately, for some reason, come on. I'm on Facebook here, so it's
It sucks. Gotcha.
yeah, basically. Essentially, practically all the New Adventures and Missing Adventures authors and a lot of the Eighth Doctor people as well. It's basically fandom's Generation X having a reunion.
When
Well,
you
you
say
know.
Generation X, you
Yeah.
don't mean that comic from the 90s.
No.
Because I was going to say, if Emma Frost is showing up at this thing, I am in.
And Lee Flynn.
I'll talk to Scott Goodman.
I just really hope she doesn't read my mind. Could get a little awkward.
I don't know. Don't she and Colossus, or Cyclops, have that open relationship thing? Where it's
I don't
total
know anymore.
all the time.
I think it might be transferred to Vulcan. I'm not sure.
Interesting, yeah. All perv all the time or something weird.
Yeah.
You know, the perils of dating a telepath. I wouldn't even
Part 2.
hesitate to begin, yeah.
You two really are off on one tonight, aren't you?
Well, I'm just saying,
not yet.
Cyclops has a type. All right.
Yes, he does.
I am going there. He definitely has a type.
Women
First,
that could
it's
nuke him in
redheads
an instant.
and
Yeah.
telepaths. Then it's clones of redheads into telepaths. Now it's, I'm hoping natural blonde, maybe, I don't know,
Oh.
and telepath.
Moving on, because from talking about, I mean, I know we were talking about New Adventures, but really, yeah. So I'll be there, and practically every New Adventure and Eighth Doctor author and person. I'll be doing at least one interview. I don't know if they're going to have me having any more.
Glorious. Very cool.
I won't be there for the Friday or Saturday night shenanigans because it's going to be a one-day for us. I'm going to drive up, Adam will drive my car back, so we split the driving.
So you're
so
not going to be
Wear your
for
good
shenanigans.
teeth. Don't neglect the girls, because you usually forget that kind of thing. If you look sharp, you're representing, the blade, so you've got to be on time, baby.
What were you saying, Brian?
We're counting on you.
So you're not up for shenanigans.
No, and sadly. Plus, if I'm honest with you, I get the feeling we're probably a bit too old for decent shenanigans.
But what is a con without shenanigans?
Decent shenanigans? I'm sorry. Define decent shenanigans.
3 men in the bath going downhill?
That's a
Tuesday,
recipe for a
around
bone
here.
breaker for me. Yeah, that's like Tuesday. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to
Yeah,
have
we
to
have
up
around
your
here is
shenanigan
Rockies
level.
Ridge,
I obviously
Right
am.
where there's flu, so it's all sand.
I was in 90s shenanigans at cons. You're
There you
gonna
go.
have to
Yeah,
really,
that was different kind of shenanigans.
step up the game.
Drinking, nudity, frivolity. Oh my God, the frivolity.
Let's have a gay old time.
You see this?
Somebody-
This is
Yeah.
what happens when
Yeah.
a wolf does your hair for you.
Oh.
I don't know why. He was like licking me in the face. I'm like, dude, let go. Slurp, slurp, slurp. And I'm like, fuck it, man. We'll just leave it.
He's reminding me of a Muppet
My
tonight.
stylist.
I don't know about the
When
other.
normally it's
you-
the anime
you
hair
two.
that comes out like a shelf and it's like
Interesting. I've had a very dull week. Nothing much has happened to me at all.
more
I've been
Fenscape?
very, very, very lonely and bored. And,
didn't have to use the body cam.
What?
No occasions to use your
No.
body cam.
Thank you for reminding me, young
That's
man.
a good thing.
Thank you for reminding me. I have a question. And of course,
There are schmucks in the world. We all know this. And
of
they
course.
occasionally
You have a
so,
question from you and a message from the doctor?
What?
there's an idea.
Just
Hang
going
on a
to
sec.
blow up a Cyberman ship or something? Or?
Oh, I see. I see what you did there.
There.
Right, hang on a second. Who is Michael Knowles?
There.
He's just been speaking at CPAC, the Republican
Oh, I
thing.
don't know.
He's
Could
calling,
not tell you.
He's calling for transgenderism to be eradicated.
He's a political commentator, apparently.
He's a CUNT. Gotcha.
Yes, yeah. Mhm.
So there we go.
I don't like Republicans. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't like any of them.
So yeah, there's that. Not been a great week over here for trans affairs either. I have no other news apart from the convention. Anybody got any news?
Didn't Gallifrey 1 just wrap up? Was there any reveals or anything?
No.
Sorry, I'm regenerating.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there were any
Good luck.
reveals at Gallifrey 1. Is it called Gallifrey 1, wasn't it? No, it's just called Gallifrey. Gallifrey 1 used to be the original name for the forum, which then became Gallifrey Base, and you don't go there because that way lies madness.
He does call for the eradication of transgenderism. Wow. What a schmuck.
To hold in my hand a capsule containing such power. Anyway, shall we move on and do what we came here to do?
I think that's why.
But do we have the right?
Nicely done. Nicely done. Now, am I going to get this right? I think I am.
But try it.
Let's try it. And now, from the worlds of BBC Television's Doctor Who, it's Doctor Who. Okay. Look what it did. I didn't ask it to do that. It's just done it.
I'm just saying. I was right.
Why? Why are you doing that? Right, that's it. I've got to do a thing now. And I apologise to everybody, but I have to do a thing. Come on. Open with, thank you. Open with films and TV. There we go, that's better. Now, that's what I'm going to have to do for that. I think I'm going to cry now. Am I allowed? Thank
There's
you.
no crying at the
Yes.
flashing blade.
Yeah.
I
There's
don't
crying
know.
afterwards, silently.
There's
Into your
always
pillow.
crying after. Oh my God,
But
yes,
not,
so
not
much.
during the flashing blade.
All right. Okay. That's good.
That's because we are consummate professionals.
A third Doctor Who, possibly. We're not sure. Let's be perfectly honest here. Chibnall. And his Blackie Girl assistant, Sarah Jane Smith, returned to Earth from basically slapping a Sontaran around. And it's a very, very quiet London. A very quiet London. And in the book, Sarah's really pleased when she sees Woolworths, which is a shame because Woolworths doesn't exist anymore. And London has been evacuated. And there are dinosaurs!
I missed the Five and Dime. Now you've dated me with your damn Woolworths reference.
And hang on, that's throwing me now. I was not expecting that. Oh, fuck it. It's Invasion of the Dinosaurs. A little bit. Probably please bring some sanity to these proceedings.
I'm not sure I can guarantee sanity, but I do have notes.
Ooh!
I was so
Professionalism
tempted.
we don't have.
From
So
now
go for
on,
it.
I'm not going to hold back anymore. Oh, yeah. Sweet.
A little warning next time, please, young lady.
A little bit with the A game.
There's a standard.
Yeah, baby.
Hers are up here. Ours are like down.
So what's
down
going to
We have
happen
standard.
then?
there.
We have
Is
standard.
her
They're on the
standard going to
shelf.
stay up there and we rise? Or...
One day we'll get a ladder and we'll see them.
I am not made of helium, madam.
Save yourself
Well,
a little bit.
If it makes you feel any better, the first note says General Finch needs a smack.
Oh!
Yes.
Poor John Bennett. By the way, Spanky, do not, under any circumstances, move your camera.
Oh, really? You like that?
Oh, very much so.
It's a great effect,
Look
isn't
at
it?
that. We're atmospheric on the flashing blade.
I'm just saying, right?
It's very 1970s.
Spanky has gone all holy.
Right?
The holy
Since
sausage.
I'm actually a paladin.
Wow. Sorry, Lilibet, please.
Well, that's okay. You were saying they land in this deserted London, and it reminded me a lot of the original Triffids, where you have, the empty streets, and it's
Do you mean
very
the BBC
quiet.
production?
Hmm?
Do you mean the BBC production?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I get exactly where you're coming from.
And because this episode is in black and white, or at least it is on BritBox still. I assume it's not been restored yet.
ITVX have the print, which it was released with the DVD, but the main one was the black and white print. But it was their attempt to colorize it, and it hadn't worked properly. And that's what ITVX are showing.
Ah.
It's really weird.
I was an idiot when I was first looking for it on BritBox and couldn't find it, because I was looking under D for Doctor Who, and it's under C for classic Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, right?
God.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've also organized everything starting with T under the, like
Yeah.
the starting with
Oh.
You gotta love that. Yeah.
BritBox
The
leaves a
library
lot to
kinda
be
makes me
desired.
crazy.
BritBox
Please,
is vanishing. It's going to have to be ITVX.
me. Well,
They're gonna be
Oh, hang on. No, I don't know.
subsumed
They've
eventually with
just
something.
announced that they're keeping Classic Who.
Yes.
So
Yes,
They are, yeah.
maybe they're not going to be folding so quickly.
No, I think they're gonna be subsumed by some other organization.
Well, ITV
another
have got them. The BBC have pulled out.
thing, yeah. So
Well, we will see. But
we'll see. Yeah.
because it was in black and white, even though we are with Sarah, it feels so old. In I don't mean that in a bad way. It feels unfamiliar. It feels dangerous. Because here we are in an empty London. We don't know what's going on. They can't find the brigadier. They get arrested and convicted as looters. And none of our familiar characters, most of it's just the Doctor and Sarah. And none of our comforting familiar unit family is there. So it's suddenly and nobody believes the Doctor. Nobody listens to him. It's very unfamiliar and scary. In that sort of surreal way that familiar places can be scary when something changes about them, when they're abandoned or something like that. Although they did have a thing about like London being abandoned, and then they could hear all the birds and stuff, and that felt very beginning of the pandemic. Nature is healing kind of
Yeah.
feeling.
There are goats in the city, yeah, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I could use a couple more years of lockdown. I'm just saying.
I'm saying, right? Oh man, that would be great.
As soon as episode 2 starts and we get color back, and then the brig basically pops around the corner like, "Hi, I'm here," everything gets cozy and comfortable again. And so it was. That first episode is very weird, and then we're back in our cozy Pertwee unit. Not 100%, because we got Mike be in trouble.
That calls back, of course, to the Green Death. I said we were doing you a plot arc, Brian. We're doing you a plot
Okay.
arc.
Yay, arcs.
We have arcs.
Arcs are good. I'm just saying, arcs are good.
Let's see.
Sorry, we
I
keep
had Mike.
interrupting.
You've let yourself down. You've let us all down, and you've let yourself down.
Oh, that's sad. That is really sad.
Disappointed in Mike. He knows better, and he chose not to. although he does try to redeem himself, and there's a few other things here, but I think the one you'll appreciate is when the dinosaur is sleeping and clearly dreaming, right? I have do dinosaurs dream of crashing Adrix?
I like that. I
come back to
freaking love that.
That's
okay?
tonight's T-shirt.
That is the next T-shirt.
Yeah.
Do dinosaurs dream of crashing Adrix?
You're welcome.
Oh,
We need to come back to sleeping dinosaurs, though, because we need to address how the T-Rex stood up.
Very carefully.
Let Lilibet finish, because I have a sneaky suspicion we're going to have a bit of a section to talk about the special effects this time. But let's get the sensible stuff out of the way first. Intelligent stuff.
I think that the unit here, we're very much in the... By the time we get back to the brig, we are in the cozy unit family in an odd way, because the brig has a general, and he has to obey the general.
Mm-hmm.
Until he chooses not to. And then he sides with the doctor over the general.
Mm-hmm.
And Benton sides with the doctor over his orders. And so they're picking the doctor over their military command.
They have a possible out on this. Unit's charter. If it's something that they are investigating or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean... basically, they report to Geneva and not to Finch.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that
more subtle
possible
than that
out.
too, though, right?
But it is meant to seem like, yay, the Brigadier's being a good guy. He's siding with the Doctor. But that's just a fanish out. You're giving me the look.
But that's not what he's doing.
Stop giving me the look.
He's not siding with the Doctor. He's subconsciously choosing good versus evil, because that's the man he is. That's his character. That's his upbringing. That's his job. That's everything. It's not a conscious Doctor decision. It's he, on some level, instinctively can tell that what that general wants is the bad thing. You know what I'm saying? He's getting an intimation of this. And that's why I think that you see that, and why you see Benson there, or whatever his dang name is.
It's not his first.
Are so quick for that.
It's
why
not
they're
his
so quick to
first
support the
loony
Doctor. But,
superior officer, to be fair.
well, you know, in the military, you will get loony superior officers. Absolutely.
And it goes all the way
and the
back to-
higher up they are, the more loony they get.
Goes
Oh
all the
my
way,
God,
all the way
it's
back
funny.
to Billy Routledge in The Invasion. There's been a long list of them. General Carrington. Long list. And then I immediately forget.
There you go. I think it was just a little bit more than just, you know, it's the Doctor's
General
his homie or
Scobie.
something like that.
You
know.
dear.
Well,
Because
and
there are a lot of decisions that get made in this show that people do that aren't necessarily, you know, oh, I'm sticking with the Doctor because he's my homeboy or whatever. It's right is right and wrong is wrong, and that's a theme that goes through Doctor Who, just on one level or another, no matter where you are, what planet you're on, what, you know, reality you're in. There's always some kind of moral code. You know, it's not all shades of gray. There's a lot of black and white to go with that gray. So
I think the Brigadier is never a man who would say, I was only following orders. He's always a
Right.
man who thinks for himself first.
yep.
Oh, that's a very interesting thing.
Oh, that was the thing from Big Finish a little while back.
Yes,
with
it
him.
was about. It was the
And that played right
follow-up
into
to
that.
blowing up the Silurians. Yes, quite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He
And he
doesn't
has to
say,
live with
I
the
was just
decisions
following
that he
orders.
makes.
Mm.
He said, I did it because it was the right thing to do. And that's what kind of made this thing for me here, because it's just pulling that forward. Although this came, you know, long before, of course, the Big Finish, but they nailed the character on the head right there. That really is who the Brigadier is. He'll do it because it's the right thing. He doesn't care what his orders are or anything like that, or who his friends are or anything else. There's a saying in the military, a Marine on duty has no friends. That's the Brigadier in a nutshell. He doesn't care who his friends are or anything else. If he knows a thing is right, he's going to do that, contrary to orders or friends or anything else. So
is he the
sorry.
sort who would you
I'm off
punt
my
out an
soapbox, I
airlock?
apologize. No, actually,
so he's not a West.
he would be a good guy to follow. Actually, he would be a good leader. Just, he might get you all killed because he was trying to do the good thing. But
If that isn't
die
just the
now.
perfect
if
summation
you're
of
interested in
units.
doing the good thing, it would be okay to die that way. So
Oh, lovely.
there's lots worse things to die for.
Well, and then you have what is it? The irony of one of the bad guys says, I have the note on episode 3. I'm not at all satisfied with that young man's loyalty, but it comes out of the bad guy's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Too funny.
Can we just salute Peter Miles and Martin Jarvis, guest actors?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. This is good. Professor Whitaker and Butler, who's supposed to have a scar on the side of his face, according to the novelization. Just saying.
Why?
He rescued a kid when he was a fireman, and it scarred his face. Thank you, Malcolm
Okay.
Hulk. Thank you, Malcolm Hulk, for being so brilliant. I could answer that question because Malcolm Hulk filled in the background to the character. I'm
Nice.
happy now.
This really is a story about who should you trust and why.
Mm-hmm.
Because repeatedly, Sarah trusts the wrong people.
Yep.
Because she's
Oh,
just
yeah.
getting used to this. She trusts the Minister for Special Powers. And what are his special powers? Does he fly? Does he turn
Quite.
invisible? Like X-ray vision?
Morally flexible.
Oh, moral flexibility. Nice one,
Incredibly
Brian.
high degree of moral
Well done.
flexibility. Yeah.
Hold on. Then we have that whole twist where we get the reveal that he's not to be trusted. And she goes in the, flashy lights room and does hypnotized acting.
The reminder
Poor
room.
Sarah has to do a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
poor Sarah.
And then she ends up on this spaceship, which is a fantastic twist.
Yes, it is.
Although no one adequately addresses who changes her costume while she's unconscious.
Right. Who stripped me naked?
You might say the same thing for the Ark in space.
Well,
To be fair,
yeah.
it's the 70s. They weren't. Everyone wasn't always conscious when their clothes were being changed.
When the clothes were being changed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is a problem.
So are we saying this is an example of Doctor Who #MeToo?
Well, see, I buy it in the Ark in
Could
space.
be.
I'll buy it that it's just like her old clothes disintegrated, her new ones came on. It was science that's basically
It was
magic
part of
because
the thing.
the process
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
I'll buy
yeah.
that because then she ends up in a tube and nobody put her there. She got transported there.
Right. Yes.
This one, there's no science like magic except the whole time travel.
So someone
dinosaurs
must have
thing.
had to.
Somebody did.
And
Somebody carried her down there.
Right. And we've only seen male conspirators on the outside of the ship.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
And the ones inside the ship think that they're on a ship. So they weren't involved.
Yeah, they're not going to help Sarah change.
Exactly. Right.
So there was sketchiness, is what there was.
very sketchiness, right? And that was not addressed.
That's a lot of sketch.
But they are pretty good at adroitly dodging sketchy issues. They don't confront them when something like that happens. They just sort of sidestep them and
Remember,
keep going.
it's not scripted
Yes,
for
it was
adults.
the
It's a
70s, I'm just
Saturday. It's a
saying.
Saturday tea time show. You know.
Yes. Yes.
For
Well,
8 to 12.
Well, the 8 to 12-year-old girls should know by that time then that if you wake up in a different set of clothes than you fell asleep in and there were only men around you, say something. Okay.
How did we get here?
to quote All of Time and Space that we'll get to later, don't fall in the plot holes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we're looking at the wrong thing here, but yeah.
It jumped out at me. But
It's kind of like disco clothes.
I like that she's she's proper investigative journalist here.
Oh yeah.
And the doctor does not appreciate her properly.
He does
Nope.
not.
No, he doesn't.
No, he does not.
None of them do. And she has to
No.
show them.
And it does get her into trouble, but she does all the research. She's got all her contacts. She finds out that this thing was created and where it is and who to go talk to and all of that.
She's capable.
Yes.
She is very capable. She is competent. That's the thing. She is not helpless. She's not the wilting frail or anything like that. She's a
So
strong female
it's
character.
basically
It's a good
we
thing.
are definitely seeing a change from Joe Grant. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, Joe was improving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Joe was improving.
Joe-
Yes, she grew up and
Joe-
went off on her own, but yeah.
The entire Joe arc is she started out as incapable and damsel in distress, and she became it over her arc.
Mhm.
Here we're seeing Sarah. She's already very capable,
Yep.
and where she's going with that.
Where can she go from there, right? What's
Stuff-
her
and I
companion
think-
journey going to be?
I think her arc is rediscovering her inner child.
I think that's you could be right there,
That's
Interesting.
probably a
because it's something I've said about the Sarah Jane Smith of the Sarah Jane Adventures. She's too prickly. She's forgotten the joy, and I know she's supposed to be the adult in the room. Oh, well, she is the adult in the room. The
Just
only
'cause
time
you're
you
the
see
adult
her,
in
the
the room.
barriers come down is when Katie Manning turns up. And suddenly,
Yeah, I see part of that as an adult who has to be responsible for the welfare of younger people.
oh yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I think that plays a huge role in it, because something you might, if it's you and people you don't have to keep safe in an adventure, it can be an adventure. But if there's people you're responsible for keeping safe, that's a whole other dimension, and it's a
But
whole other
that's
level.
just it. I mean, she's taken a different role to the one she has in Doctor Who.
Yeah. It's further character evolution.
Yeah, yes, quite so. Quite so. God, we're doing well tonight. I'm enjoying this. We had some lovely feedback on last week's show, by the way. I do recommend you go and read it.
Yes, I did. That was very, very nice.
Yes, very sweet of him. And I know one person has watched episode 148 because they just said on Facebook they were watching it. So,
Yes,
and they enjoyed it. That's the important thing. They enjoyed it. I know we're not actually made to be consumed, but, you know,
I don't want to be consumed at all.
very wise, quite frankly. Brian,
Yeah.
Invasion of the Dinosaurs, dude.
6-parter.
Yep.
Did you
You
have
didn't
more
watch it, did you?
over?
Not a chance.
Not a chance. That's a shame.
Nope. Absolutely no time whatsoever.
That's all right, my love.
6-parter.
Like I've always said, real life comes first. One day I am expecting all four of us to turn up, and none of us have done something, and we have to completely skip it.
I think we've done that before.
I wouldn't be surprised,
That
you know,
happened
mate.
once, yeah.
I genuinely wouldn't be surprised.
We've done that.
It may have been with
At
Eddie,
least
I'm not
one
sure.
part of it none of us have done.
I know, it's just... But that's the joy of this show. You know, there's no pressure. You do it because you want to do it. You don't have to do it. It's, I like
A
it.
little bit. Were you done? You had
I've
a
got.
pile of notes.
I mean,
there.
I'm willing to jump into any conversation, but I've
okay.
basically hit my high points.
Okay.
Okay, so,
You?
Spanky, I don't know why my words went wrong there, but would you
Oh,
care to
me?
do some,
Okay.
would you like to do some talking?
Yes.
Go on, then.
I will do some talking.
Go on.
I'd like. Okay, we had a lot of things there. It was good. Tyrannosaurus Rex laying down in chains.
Well, shall we
And
bring
then
it up
somehow
now?
he's on his feet. Did you see how he
Shall we bring up the model work?
Kind of pops. No, I'm not talking about the model work. Just it was something I've always wondered since I was a kid. How would a Tyrannosaurus Rex stand up if it fell over with those dinky little arms? There's no way it's
very
gonna do
good.
like
He
a
does
push
a lot
up
of
and climb
yoga.
up.
He's got really strong core.
I'm just saying, right? He's
A
gonna
lot
do
of
the little-
downward-facing dogs.
on his back,
Yeah.
kick the feet up, and boom, and he's like a ninja, right? Exactly.
That's what the
right.
tail's for. It's a
Insta-stand.
counterbalance.
A counterbalance, right? I'm just saying that's got to be something like that, right? And he stands up and he just sort of bangs his head into things. He doesn't duck or move. He just crashes through the
Well,
stuff. That was
okay,
great.
let's take this into real world now.
It's awesome.
Ostrich.
Oh, yes, please.
An ostrich, how do they get up once they've fallen? Same basic body type?
I don't know, because they have that real long neck, the wings, but they have that, what do you call it? What's the toy? They fall, Weebles. It's a Weeble body.
Weeble.
That's an ostrich, though, because they're bottom heavy like that, so no matter how you knock it
So
over.
maybe dinosaur, T-Rex is a
Maybe
Weeble.
T-Rex is a Weeble. I don't know, just saying. I had to throw
I
that
don't know.
out there
There
'cause
was
that
a Blue
bugging
Peter
me.
badge drawing in the background on the school scene.
It,
Because
There
their
was,
temporary camp is in a school.
right? Yeah,
Yep.
they had the eyeball and stuff like that, right? They had all kinds of things going on in the
I
background.
like the
Yeah.
fact you're not
For
really
classic
worried about the
movies.
special effects. It's the one thing everybody calls out.
You know, to pick on 1970s bad claymation, which it wasn't in this, it was that, what do you call this stuff, that vinyl whatever model crap.
I'm not sure, my love.
It's
It's
kind
like
of
a stop motion kind of thing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a
It's
stop
kind of
motion.
pointless to do that. It's like, yeah, okay, it's bad special effects. The best they could do, you could see where they were doing like the green screen effect with Sarah and the dinosaur, and I mean they did the best they could for the budget they had at that time. You can't really complain about that. And honestly, we're not here so much for the special effects, really, for Doctor Who, as we are for the story. I think more than anything.
Well, what I can do.
Because Doctor Who, let's face it, from they're not real big on the gaudy special effects, but they do have some really great stories. So
What is that?
It's a well,
A
I don't know
really,
if it's a
really
Diplodocus
small
or Brontosaurus or Apatosaurus.
There are no
not
such
Apatosaurus.
things as Brontosaurus. They were
Seismosaurus can't be
miscabbled.
big enough to be. He looks very thin. He's got ribs. I don't know.
somebody Stegosaurus.
Somebody left it on my table at the cafe.
There
And
you go.
I ended up
So
with a
you
dinosaur.
stole a child's toy.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
There were no children
Just
around.
Auntie Mug.
Just want to make sure.
Just saying, yeah.
Good.
That's cool. What
I
else
regret
we got?
nothing.
There's something else I want to talk about. Yes, the betrayal.
Goofy.
Yes,
They are
to see a
goofy.
smart I don't know. I can't think of anything else. I jumped in on a bunch of things, and that was probably I said
Do
everything I
you
had to.
think
So,
the character development of Mike Yates works, considering the callback to the Green Death?
where he lost, like he sort of like lost his faith in humanity, and now he's just like, screw it, let's kill everybody. Oh, I did like that they basically invent time travel to use it as a long con. You know? All right, we're going to invent time travel, but screw using it to, save the planet or something. Going back and telling people to not do this, that, or the other. We're just going to con the planet into thinking one thing and then kill everybody and start over.
It's
what?
like that Out of the Unknown episode we watched,
Kind
where
of,
they've got everyone in a spaceship, but the spaceship isn't actually in space.
But the spaceship isn't in space.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's the same thing. And they've got 4 ships apparently like that, right?
The B-Arc
Yeah,
is
they
the one
don't,
we're on.
though. They don't. They're the B arc.
Yeah,
Right?
they are the B-Arc. There's no
But
two
that's
ways
the
about
thing.
that.
So they've got all these people, Hornswoggle, basically. They've been fooled and they've been, brought into this conspiracy. And it's just that they would do something as amazing as basically crack time travel and yet use it for such a shoddy, that's every supervillain in every comic book invents this incredible technology. And what's he do? Goes out and robs a bank instead of marketing it or selling it and making billions. No, I'm going to rob a bank. Yeah, like, really, dumbass? Okay. They could have saved the world with time travel technology, and instead, that's people in a nutshell.
I think that the thing with Mike Yates is that he maybe got a little bit of the idealism from Joe, and her passion, and of course she ends up with somebody else, but
Do you think the mind control he's suffered and being freed using the blue crystal, because he had to have some leave after that, because
Yeah.
that did him in.
Yeah,
You think
and I
that-
think that it may have. I think also he's fallen in with people who are bad, but they're idealists.
Yes.
They have this idea of we're going to return Earth to
For the
a
greater
perfect
good.
state. Yeah,
Right.
and
We're going to do this for the greater good.
and he thinks he's working. He thinks he's working for the best, and that everybody else will eventually come round to his view. And like we know that he's not 100% convinced, because he checks when he's got this sabotage device that he's going to put on the Dr. Stun gun, and he checks with the doctor, saying like, okay, well, what happens if the gun doesn't work? And the doctor's like, well, then I look like an idiot. I'm going to go back and try again. Right? And then Mike thinks, okay, then it's safe for me to do that, because the worst thing that's going to happen is he's going to look foolish.
He's
And
quick
then
to
when,
put his
of
foot
course-
down about murder and stuff too. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
quick to draw a line. I'm not going to cross this line, right? Yeah.
So I
that's a good
think
thing.
that he does learn the error of his ways by the end.
Mhm.
And he learns that he's been fooled, and he's kind of heartbroken that he's been fooled. And it's, I think because he's part of the unit family, we're inclined to like him anyway. And this episode is
Yeah,
very
but-
much something's rotten in the state of Denmark.
Yes.
Right.
And it is.
But for him,
It's the
unfortunately,
beginning of
it's
the end,
not
you know?
really innocence, though. Unfortunately, because he's part of the unit and seen all these things, in him, it's actually a little more naivete. Which innocence I can respect and more than the loss of, but naivete is never, it's not as forgivable. So so he definitely earned some lumps. He had that coming, kind of thing.
Could you just
I did
say
like the end.
for me, if I may have your attention?
I'm not going to do that again.
Oh, he sounds like Davros.
I'm going to headbutt you.
Wait, so you're saying Spanky sounds like a one-eyed bald cyclops?
Yeah. He's got the microphone.
Fair enough.
You know?
At least he's not screaming exterminator or anything. I mean,
Exterminate!
Someone's just sent me a
Exterminate!
thing. Oh, okay. It's the new boy. Hello, the new boy, if you're watching this.
Hello, new boy.
I'll reply to your text once
You're
I
there.
finish doing this, because I'm in the middle of the show.
Poor new
text
boy.
him back. You're in the middle of the show, and you should
Yeah.
jump on Twitch to
You
watch.
should jump on Twitch, right?
I
You
wouldn't
can
do
help.
that to
We
him.
could go from 3 to 4 people.
No,
Yes,
no, that's
yes.
madness.
The 3 is us.
No.
3 is our audience target number.
I'm just saying.
Pertwee, don't you think he looks tired?
Does, but who can blame him?
Okay. I want to say something about Pertwee here.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Pertwee is, compared to all the other doctors, at least that I'm familiar with, stands out for 2 things. One, he spends an awful lot of time behind the wheel. And 2,
You ain't seen nothing yet.
he is the scrappiest doctor out there, right? He is just
Aye.
kicking, chopping, cracking. Venusian Aikido, pat-town. I'm like, dude, that's not Aikido, man. That's different. No, I studied that.
You're going to throw something
But he's
if
like,
you're
you need
not
to be
careful.
like, rah, get you some. He's kicking him in the belly and ninja smack and whatever. He just choppy, and you don't see any
Especially in
other
the first
doctors doing
episode.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really does get in there and does a randori, one guy in the middle, everybody jumps on him. That's how you end every Aikido class, basically. Everybody takes a turn in the middle and all class jumps on him. Randori. But, that's the doctors. You don't normally see him doing that. And it's, I don't know if this is that sort of evolution. For Sherlock, you see, he's always defeating bad guys with his brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then in a couple of the stories by Conan Doyle, and they do a better job in the TV series, actually. Like one time he gets confronted by this kind of beefy like Steve Dorr or something, and he boxes him and just thrashes the guy, right? He's not a punk. He's not a feed or effeminate or anything like that. He is capable in all regards, and the doctors as well. Just you never get to see it. But for some reason, with Pertwee, he's the butt kicking doctor, the scrappy doctor, the Venusian Aikido doctor, and the driving doctor, because he does spend a lot of time.
You've not seen
behind the
anything
wheel.
yet.
Well, I mean, I do like. Well, that's the Hoomobile too, but that's actually, if I remember, right, Pertwee's own car he had
yes, it is.
custom built.
It's actually called the Alien.
Well, no, that's what they called it, but in the scripts, it's only referred to as the doctor's car, and Pertwee himself was the one who first called it the Hoomobile.
Are you seriously going to question what I'm saying?
No, I just corrected you. I didn't question you.
Did you think you were wise there? Do you?
Probably, yes. I think so.
No.
I don't know.
The car
That's what I
was
seem to remember.
called by the
Anyway.
creator the
I
Alien.
don't know, but the guy, yes, the custom car guy that he had do it.
And it's called the Alien. It became the Hoomobile because, like you say, Pertwee
what
said.
he... Mhm.
And in the TV series, it's just his new car. There's no name.
It's always in the script. His car is always his car. Well, except for maybe Bessie.
Oddly enough,
right?
it was supposed to be just him riding a motorbike around London.
Yes, it was a motorcycle, and they weren't like, no, we can't do that. And when they saw it in the parking lot, I think Pertwee showed it to the
And then
the
they gave Matt
producer.
Smith the motorcycle.
And then the guy's like, wow, can we put that in the show? And Pertwee went, I'm pretty glad you do because it cost me a fortune. So,
He did turn up with it as a fait accompli. He really did.
so you know,
It's a case of, oh, well,
Then
that's
it
supposed
counts
to be
as work
better then.
expense.
Oh,
Right? And
do you
it does
know I
make a few
wouldn't be
more
at all
appearances,
surprised
too.
knowing Pertwee?
You could write it off
But,
on your taxes.
Oh, I
Right?
wouldn't
I'm
be
saying
at
I
all
would've, yeah,
surprised.
mm-hmm.
Oh, someone who does research
Somebody
on these
has
sort
to
of
pay
things.
for that motorbike Sean had.
No. Somebody's got to be able to do the research on this. I want to find out the answer. Did Pertwee pay tax? Or did he use it as a tax write-off? Or whatever it is?
Right.
I want to know now.
bet he
I
got
want
tax
to
Use
know.
that thing as a tax write-off.
Dr.
But,
Matthew Sweet, where are you? Oh, dear.
I remember he was very careful that it was street legal when he had it made, though, because he got pulled over by cops all the time, and they would
Measuring
measure
tape.
like, no, the lights aren't too low, no, it's not too wide, no, it's this, that, and the other. This is different though, because this what they showed in this episode. For now, this is my last geekdom on because fantasy vehicles is my thing, but sometimes, but the vehicle wasn't actually finished. There's a cockpit cover that goes to it that wasn't completed in time, and so they fitted that windscreen around it, and you don't see that later, if I remember right. They have the actual cockpit cover, like when
Spanky.
Sarah Jane lines at some point in something else. Yes, what?
Have a lolly.
Okay.
You can have a lolly.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when you come out
You
with
gonna
things
beat
like
me
that.
with it?
No. I was being nice.
Pick on
God
some
damn
stuff
it!
Like that sometimes.
I was being
It's
nice.
It's so infrequent. We're not used to it.
Sorry. I'll try not to let it happen again for another month or
You
two.
wonder why I'm so mean in the game. I learned it by watching you.
I taught him everything he knows, just not everything I know. Right. Next week, we're taking a sidestep. We are continuing with the arcs. But this is a sidestep before we come to the next one of this particular arc, the Mike Yates thing. We're going to watch the season 9 story, The Time Monster. 6 episodes, and I'm really sorry. The one bright spot is it does have Roger Delgado in as the Master.
Wow, those are always good.
And I'm sure you'll appreciate... I was going to say Helena Bron, not Helena Bron at all. Oh, Jesus. I can't remember. No, not Brett Eklund. Famous horror woman person. She was also in Warriors on the Cheap. Doesn't matter. It's an interesting one, sort of, especially if you like your TARDIS stuff.
You mean Wanda Moore?
Sorry, what?
Did you mean Wanda Moore?
No.
Okay.
Okay. I want to look now. You made me want to go and want to look. Not Britt Eklund. It's not Britt Eklund.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Britt Eklund wasn't in there, was she? Ingrid Pitt. And
That's it!
Susan
Ingrid
Halligan.
Pitt.
Ingrid Pitt.
Pitt. There we go.
Oh, she was in that vampire thing, right?
Well, she was a horror queen.
What was that called? Yeah, that's right. Okay.
She was a horror queen. She used to work for Hammer Horror.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Oh, she was actually a survivor of the concentration camp in Sutlo or whatever.
still doesn't
Danzig,
explain
whatever.
her fight with the Merker. I'm sorry.
Just saying.
It just
She
doesn't.
was German Jewish, so yeah.
Right.
Her and her mom.
Oh, excuse me.
Poor girl.
I haven't eaten yet.
House of Drip Blood. That's the movie I was thinking of.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you've scratched that itch. Well done, you.
I did. I had to because
That's good.
it wouldn't have let me go.
No, it wouldn't. We'd listened to Big Finish as well.
We did.
We did.
You guys did. I did not, unfortunately.
That's all right.
I kept screwing that one up.
All of Time and Space, basically. It's an 11th Doctor, but with Jacob Dudman playing the role. Box set, 3 stories.
Wait, which 11?
Oh, all right. In that case, yes, it is technically the 13th Doctor.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for pointing that out.
One
I
day.
appreciate that.
No problem.
That's
One
fine.
day.
Thank you.
You're gonna have to
One
put
day
up
we'll get it straight.
One day.
our own thing. And no, we're gonna, for show purposes, this is this doctor, this is this number, this number, this number, this number, because that way we don't have to keep going back.
We should make a chart
Oh, God.
that
Yes.
we can put up
Oh,
on.
flow chart.
on
Yeah.
screen.
I like it. I love it.
Chib, no!
And
Quibbly
start a
wobbly
holy war.
tighty-wobbly.
We would end up getting killed. Because when you do things like that, that's kind of like showing someone who believes in Islam a drawing of the Prophet Muhammad. You can't do that.
Do you know, back in
jihad and death, and
1990?
you can't label the doctors like that.
1990 or 89
Ah,
or
the
90.
Dark Ages, 1990.
Yeah.
1990.
I forgot what I was going to say.
She forgot.
Yeah.
This is
To me,
why they were the
Auntie's
Dark
picture
Ages.
is frozen with the little dinosaur right in front of her face. It looks like she's about to eat it. Like, it's great. I love that.
Fair enough. Ah, dear. It's how we'll think of me from now on. Ah, dear.
Yes.
You are channeling your best Holly from Red Dwarf.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, yes.
It's because I'm
Great
bloody
Holly.
Head on the
cold.
black screen.
Uh-huh.
Really, really cold. Oh, I was frozen last night towards the end of the RPG.
Oh, just let it go.
I
Central
will
heat
slap
and
the back
air.
of your legs, young man. I
I'm
will.
They're not a bad
saying.
thing. Central heat and air. Just saying.
Can't
Have
afford
them all.
it.
Just saying.
Can't afford it. In fact, I've had to apply for a food bank because things have got that bad.
Blows.
However, there's 2 I applied to. One of them's got back to me saying, "Please, we're really sorry, but we've just got too many people and too long a waiting list."
Wow.
I haven't heard back from the other one yet. We'll find out because I can't make ends meet anymore. It just struck home this week.
That sucks, yeah. Well, that's the thing. The economy in the world is going to hell in a handbasket, and not enough is being done quickly enough to fix it. That's for sure.
Anyway, the 13th Doctor Who.
11th, 13th.
Yes, the 11th, 13th. That's good. I like that. I think that's what it should be from now on.
11th, 13th. I like
11th,
that.
13th. Yeah.
Since
Well,
Bilbo Baggins can turn 11-1, yeah.
this story features him. However, the story is being told by a writer who's pitching the idea to an agent. He's pitching
As one
the idea.
does.
Yes. And the agent doesn't particularly like it. And Then there's more than one of the agent who's chasing after the writer,
Yes.
and the characters in what he's writing are suddenly turning up all over the place, on the television, in the newspaper, and gloriously, for a little bit, as a couple of Punch and Judy dolls. And that's the Doctor and Valerie.
Yes.
This is joyous. I loved this. I really did. It was a great concept. Basically, essentially, it seems they've been trapped in fiction. And they're trying to get out. And it's... Yeah, a little bit. What do you think?
The writer character, the writer who's telling the story is himself a character.
Yeah.
And they're trapped in a fiction writing machine that goes between the actual author's brain and publication.
Yeah.
And the Doctor initially went in there to try and delete a biography written about him that led to a TARDIS explosion. Somebody's trying to sabotage.
Yeah.
Whatever. And they got stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as usual, they end up trying to have somebody ordinary become extraordinary in order to help them.
Yes.
That's kind of an 11th Doctor's thing.
Yes. No, I get you. No, you're spot on there. Very much so.
We get that from his very first episode of Jeff and the Laptop.
It's something Rory points out to him. You make people want to be the best they can, and that is dangerous.
Yes. And that proves dangerous for our character. Although I'm not sure if it's just where I am at the moment, but I got weepy at the end of this one. When they're telling us, like, how he transformed into a story and, how that story went on. And yeah, that one got me. Because it's mad. It's absolutely mad, this episode. But yeah, it's really good. And once you realize what they're doing, it's fun. And it's exactly the sort of thing that you could never, ever do on screen. It has to be an audio.
Yeah.
See, I am reminded of a concept Lawrence Miles used in a book called Alien Bodies, an 8th Doctor book, early 8th Doctor book, The Shift, who was a concept, who would speak to you. In your head, he'd rearrange letters on or marks on a wall to form your language, and that's how he spoke to you. That was almost... It felt similar, but not the same. Mm-hmm. And I loved it as a concept. And there was something else I was going to say, and after the life of me, I can't remember.
Well, the Punch and Judy bit reminded me a lot of the first Rivers of London book, which is a Ben Aronovich book.
Oh, yes.
Where you have the evil Mr. Punch.
Oh, God, I love Rivers of London. The trouble is I haven't been able to keep up with it all. There's been so much of it, and I don't know the order it's in.
I don't do the comics, because comics isn't a genre that works for me.
Fair enough.
But the audiobooks are delicious.
Adam says the same. Adam says
it
exactly
feels
the same.
Like
they got
sitting
exactly
right
the
next
right
to you,
person
telling you the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. But in the first book, Mr. Punch is embodied by an entity, and there's more to it than that. But he talks in that Mr. Punch voice, but saying things that are related to the story, but not the Mr. Punch story, because he's an evil character that then goes into people's heads and makes them do things. And so when the Doctor turns up as Mr. Punch and says, well, there's nobody else in here but a crocodile, and he's having a nap.
Yeah. I'm carrying a stick. Oh.
Yeah. Yes. And I do like Valerie in here. I haven't heard her previous stuff, so this was my first exposure to her character.
I quite like her.
Yeah, she's great. And her as a puppet.
Yes.
Sitting at
She
the
just
thing,
takes it in the stride. You know?
Challenging the bad guy. She's like, I could take you if I weren't a puppet. What are you gonna do about it? You can't hurt me. I'm a puppet.
It was good. So, can we say we enjoyed that first one?
Oh yeah, yeah. Mind bending, in the best way.
But in the
Very
best
good.
way, yeah.
Didn't Stargate SG-1 do something similar
No idea.
in a later episode?
No idea.
It's very possible. I mean,
Where
and you-
they had this barber dude getting flashes of Jack's memories and vice versa.
Sorry,
it's possible.
I don't know.
I mean, and
didn't
you
watch it.
even have the in the Hitchhiker's movie, the second, second iteration. I guess the other's a mini series, isn't it?
It's just a series.
It's not though. It's
It's a
mini
mini
It's a series.
Uh,
In fact, technically, it's a serial.
Miniseries.
BBC, listen, BBC documentation. BBC documentation. I'm tapping the table now.
They can call it what they want, but doesn't mean they're right. In the film, one of the things, when they go into hyperdrive and they become crochet.
Yeah.
Oh, classic. That's good.
Nice.
But this was really good. This is the sort of thing that Doctor Who can do,
Yes. And
because
especially
Doctor Who
on
can
audio.
be a concept coming out of the radio.
Yep. And a good use of the medium, I think, quite frankly. The next one, Space Under Siege. I've not really got a huge amount to say about this, if I'm honest with you. Lilibet, do you want to? I wasn't that impressed with this.
Actually, this one worked for me. So,
Oh, brilliant.
it is a base under siege,
Yep.
with a difference. With that, they know what they're hiding from, which are these electric, beautiful but dangerous, like panther-like creatures on the surface who just turned up one day, and now there's more and more of them. But people inside the bunker, which is hermetically sealed or something, are disappearing. And they don't know why. And then the Doctor and Valerie arrive, and they are... This had a lot of play on the classic tropes. Valerie's been clearly traveling with the Doctor for a while, and she has a bingo card.
She does. Yes.
The kind you have in terrible business meetings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, oh, right, we've got to, we're in the base and the military commander is holding us at gunpoint. And we're being accused of crimes that we just arrived and did not commit.
Yeah.
And we have it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
They clearly knew what they were playing with.
Oh, yes, very much so.
But what made it, I think, work for me, the characters, 3 of the characters basically disappear and then reset.
Yes, they do. Yep.
And they don't realize that the danger outside is actually inside themselves and has gotten into the base through them. Because they were originally a collective entity where some of the collective wanted to pursue individualism. And some of the collective thought that the ones who wanted to go be individuals didn't have the right to do that and break the collective.
Yep.
And so they went off and pursued individualism, and they became flesh, and then the energy turned itself into matter. Like you do.
Yeah, of course.
Do it every other Tuesday.
Yeah, right? It's on the to-do list.
Uh-huh.
And the Doctor kind of admires that and how creative and innovative and interesting and powerful that is. But the ones who remained weren't content to just remain their own thing and say, okay, well, we didn't want to go do that, so we're going to be our own thing over here.
Yeah.
They felt so strongly their attachment to the others that they felt they needed to force the others back into the collective.
Yes.
And that's what the danger is. And so you have the conflict there about what is community and can you be forced to belong to it? Because when they're pulled back in, it's torture for them.
Yes, it is. You hear them screaming.
And at one point, and I can't remember her name, but the female base character, who's Valerie's love interest.
Oh yes,
Which was
Valerie gets a love
sweet.
interest.
Yes, Valerie gets a love interest, and it ends really nicely, where Valerie gives her the TARDIS phone number and is like, "Hey, I'm not ready to stay here, and you're not ready to travel with me, but we can talk."
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, it isn't. It's a nice adaptation on the typical Doctor Who.
Yes.
I fell in love with someone on a mission, but now I must go.
Yes,
Or I'm in
yes.
insta-love, I'm going to stay behind. Leela.
It's a case of, hello, we're in the modern world now, we've got phones.
Yes. But it's the idea of the Doctor saying to the Yearn, look, you can just
Bad
go
guys.
be you. Leave them alone. You can go be you. And they don't want to. And they refuse to change. And that happens again later. This Doctor gives both of these the characters in the Yearn and the characters in Curiosity Chop a chance to change.
He does, yes.
And they refuse to learn. And then they get a consequence.
Yeah.
Because they will not learn.
Well, this one didn't grab me. I'm glad it grabbed you, but this one just didn't for some reason. I don't know why.
It's okay.
I mean, I binged all three of them last night to be fresh for today. But, story 3. It's
Jacob
essentially
Sutton goes
told.
mad.
It's essentially told through Valerie's point of view. I'd like to point out that we don't know. I think there's a loose end left at the end of the first story that could who attacked the TARDIS and whatever, because they do give out a call out to Clara, so we know when this is placed, and also the woman on the phone who gives her the phone number, the TARDIS phone number. The third one, this is joyous, and it is joyous because of Jacob Dudman. It's told through Valerie's point of view, while she can still have one, and there was an accident. The Doctor stopped raging battle fleets attacking each other, the Vlhurgs and the whatever, and unfortunately in doing that he damaged the TARDIS and he damaged himself. So he lands on this planet that was being threatened by this war. They've got nothing to do with the war at all. They just happen to be in the way. And the planet, the warships are slowly rebuilding themselves and positioning themselves. They can have another go at each other at any time. And those who are left are trying desperately to get off the planet because they know what's coming. However, there is a junkyard owned by a Mr. Foreman, who I'm absolutely, just to clarify this, it's essentially Matt Smith's body. If you're thinking it through, trying to visualize the audio, it's Matt Smith's body, but Jacob Dudman. Well, first of all, he plays a stunning David Bradley First Doctor, but it's a First Doctor mixed with Matt Smith's Doctor. And it's really, really well done. He knocked me sideways when I heard that. And it is Bradley, the pauses, the actual... That's Bradley, that's not Hartnell. That is Bradley. Christ, I hope he was aiming for Bradley. And then he goes on, he does Pertwee, Tom Baker... Peter Davison, I think he does Colin.
Yes.
And then he jumps, yes he does, doesn't he? And then
And he does
jumps.
a bit of Sylvester.
Does he?
There's just a
Oh, I didn't
smidge.
catch that.
Yeah.
And then we get 9 and 10. And again, Jacob Dudman is portraying all these different facets of the Doctor, using his Matt Smith voice, which is tinged with, well, it's the speech patterns of the. And it's something I've always had a problem with body swap episodes, for example. They always seem to get the whole thing wrong. No. They're not going to speak with their usual voice. It's going to be their personality using those vocal cords, which are new to them. And they addressed this in this, and I liked that. I liked that a lot. I know it wasn't a body swap per se, but I know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the meantime, Valerie, she's trying to survive on this planet, and she's met national treasure Derek Griffiths. Oh, we love Derek Griffiths. We really do. He's the voice of our childhood. Ah, dear. I'm trying to think of a comparable person for you, but I mean, not Mr. Rogers, because, I mean, Griffiths was a presenter of things like Play School or Heads and Tails and whatever. Very much a performer, but not in the extravagant way. You know, he had skills. He could sing, he could dance, he could compose, and he could move. Yeah, if that makes sense. And his voice is so familiar to my generation. Anyway, he's the guy who's feeding Valerie, and she's paying.
Yeah, he's a food trader. You get the feeling he runs this tavern.
Yeah. The trouble is, every time Valerie goes out to the junkyard to see the Doctor, who is looking for the Doctor, well, in fact, doesn't remember the Doctor, and is only looking for the Doctor because Valerie's told him the Doctor's coming. She wants to look at the TARDIS, or the Barbara, as it ended up being called, which I thought was nice.
And it's funny because that's actually what my nieces call the Alexa.
Oh,
when they don't want it to hear them, they call it Barbara.
Fair enough.
Well, you know, when they want to talk about it,
but not to it. Yes. Wow, we humans are terrible. Anyway, but the Doctor demands payment for this. And Valerie, as has been established elsewhere, and, you know, it's well established by now, she's reliant on cybernetics to live. And for each visit and each viewing of the box, the Doctor takes payment in the form of one of her cybernetic parts. Because he's building a thing. And it ends up... And he also gives her a bit of money, which she uses to buy food. But
which goes less and less far each time.
Yep, price is going up.
Very much like that Star Wars prequel one.
Which we don't talk about. And it gets to the point where Valerie is... Wow, a shadow of her former self. One of her neural processors has been removed, so she can't think clearly or speak clearly. One of her arms has stopped working. And the Doctor, or whoever this person is, has been building this little statuette thing. And it turns out it's the Doctor's subconscious that's been doing this to stop the fleets the second time. He himself hasn't consciously been there. He's been having a reboot. I don't know what this means, by the way, in case you're wondering. I absolutely loved this. Jacob Dudman's performance is superb. My hat goes off to him. Valerie. Oh, God, do I like Valerie.
Heartbreaking.
And it was heartbreaking in this story, what she goes through.
And she gives the Doctor what for at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Where she's like, so. You hurt me.
Yes.
Because he fixes her, and she's like, had an upgrade, and she's better than she was before, but that doesn't mean the harm wasn't done. And it doesn't mean she didn't suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
And it's the second time she has a go at him in this, because in All of Time and Space, at the end of that, when he's like, I went back and I fixed this.
Yes,
you know.
because in the first set, he couldn't save her mum.
And she's like, well, if you could do that, why couldn't you do that? And it seems like you just make up the rules as you go along.
Boom, boom.
And the idea that she kept the Doctor while he was rebuilding his brain and his personalities and kind of working his way through them.
Mm-hmm.
He kept him alive via stories about the Doctor. And all the different aspects of the Doctor's personality, because sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's justice and sometimes it's I don't like the smell of this government, let's bring it down.
Yes, that's a good line. I don't like the smell. What do you mean the smell? Can't you? It's the pollution, all this sort of stuff, the insecticides and all that. He says I can smell it. I don't like the smell of this government.
And it's very happiness patrol, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
It's and then of course there's a reference to the planet where everybody's pretending to be happy or told they're happy and they're not. And
I was wondering about that.
There's all these little bits where then we see in the performance the different elements of the Doctor. I do wish the Fifth Doctor hadn't been quite so like, oh, let's make cricket. Like there's more to the Fifth Doctor than cricket. It's recognizable, but there's more there.
I think a lot of it is brought from the actor, from Peter Davison himself, to be fair. And people sometimes have trouble writing for him.
I mean, you just get a lot of it. Not that
the
there's
bland
anything...
Doctor, We know he isn't, but...
No, but, I mean, I get it. And there was a section
I could have done with less of the Davison.
I think where they're walking, there's a section where they're walking, and as they're walking from the beginning to the end of the walk, he starts out in one Doctor and he ends up in another, and he goes through a few on the way.
Ooh, I don't remember that bit.
And it's like they're popping up. So in general it's chronological, but there's a few bits in here and there. It's an amazing performance.
Yes. Yes, hats off. I mean, I hear he's stepping down from doing the 11th Doctor, which would be a shame, quite frankly. And of course,
very good 11th Doctor.
Yeah, dear me. He's not the best for the 10th Doctor. He's not the best for the 9th Doctor, but he's certainly the best for the 11th Doctor. And I mean that, graciously. It's just there are others out there that are better than him. But he's an excellent reader as well, because he does a lot of the actual audio books rather than audio plays. And he's Matt Smith is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and the way he managed to combine Matt Smith with other Doctors in this, legendary, quite frankly, legendary.
And this had a feeling of the 10th Doctor and Martha, where she has to go around the world and kind of make everybody believe about the Doctor.
Yes.
Because the Doctor couldn't help himself, so she had to do it, and she suffers through it.
Yep.
And this happens regularly with the Doctor's companions. I mean, it isn't all fun and games, and it's not even all action adventure. Like, a lot of the time, it's their faith that keeps the Doctor going, even when in this story, he really doesn't want to. He just wants a break.
Yeah. He's very old now. I mean, he's not
tired.
14 billion years old yet. And I still say the original Doctor was killed, but we won't say anything about that.
There's that thing in the and the diamond punchy in them.
I got a choice for you guys for next week. And I've put one up, but Big Finish have had another one of their incidents where they've spewing forth releases.
Oh,
so
glorious.
Got a choice: Third Doctor and Joe, or Fourth Doctor and Leela and someone else, another national treasure.
Oh well, I'm
Can't we just-
a Leela fan, so
All right, that's the Fourth Doctor then. That's what we'll do.
to
I'll listen
put
to
them
the
all
Third
up, and
Doctor
that way
one.
we'll be able to get a head start on them for when we eventually get
Sweetheart,
to them. How about that?
sweetheart, they've been up for a week.
Have they?
Yes,
Where?
Flash and Blade chat.
Good God Almighty! I blame you.
Okay, that's fair. You've been ill. It's allowed.
Mhm.
I do have to provide you with the Fourth Doctor one, which I'll do afterwards.
Yeah.
Remember, reviews?
That's the one we just.
That's the only reason we're
Is
doing
that
this.
the? That's okay. You can clear this up for me after the show.
Okay.
I'll have you point them out.
Did you enjoy the box set?
I did.
Mm.
I did.
So did I. Like I
Very
say,
much.
I was a bit disappointed with the middle thing, but you disagree. Fair enough. And yeah, no, I was quite pleased about this. Wasn't looking forward to listening to it. I thought, oh God, Matt Smith. But Jacob's so good at it that you suddenly remember why you fell in love with the 11th Doctor. You know?
Matt Smith's first season is hands down one of my favorite seasons.
But it's the same with Purcell. That's his favourite season of Doctor Who, I think.
Because I think the
Yeah, I think
Doctor is a story,
Oh,
and there's power in stories,
very much so.
and that's what that whole season's about.
Okay, so next week's Big Finish will be the new Fourth Doctor set, which for the life of me I can't remember the name of. You have got the Third Doctor's and Joe thing there if you want to listen to it, but please don't feel you have to. Don't feel you have to listen to the Fourth Doctor one, to be honest. Also, there's Excelis there, the entire Excelis saga, which is 4 plays. 1 with Davison, 1 with Colin, 1 with Sylvester, and then 1 with Benny Summerfield and Iris Wildtime.
Outstanding.
But again,
I'll, like, look
that's
for all I
not.
can get.
We can't review those. We don't have enough hours in the day. But they're there, and if you do listen to them, come back and say what you think. Basically, that's how we got that. We've got the Time Monster. Oh, it's shaping up to be an interesting show. Now then, boys, Brian, you're running this bit. So, Space Above and Beyond.
Yes, have some.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
You sure you don't want to?
No, I'm absolutely fine. I don't need any. Please help yourselves.
So, Stardust.
Chocolate, she's done it again.
There's nothing wrong with chocolate.
Good on you,
Every week.
Nice.
Oh,
That
and
Dean
that's
very
lovely.
kindly sent
Good
me.
for you.
Good on you.
They're-
Good on
they're
you, that's
one of my
right.
favorites.
After
Thank you.
this, I'm going to have a cookie
Empty.
while they discuss Callan.
I haven't eaten yet. Got to cook
I'm
spaghetti.
just saying, I still have these. All right?
Oh, you big child.
Damn right. Animal cookies are a great treat.
No,
Lions
Yes,
and
they
we have
are.
chocolate
tigers,
ones.
loop-de-loop.
Cadbury's chocolate on them. And like, yeah, no, I'm completely with you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Those are cookies.
Is the office simultaneously also the snack cupboard?
Yes. Yes. My desk is actually arranged so that I have a snack in any direction I go.
Mhm.
But currently I'm out of soda, so
Oh, nose.
we'll fix that later.
That's all right. We'll be talking
So
about Callan,
Stardust.
so-
What can we
Things
say
happen.
about Stardust?
Let's see.
Okay, Stardust it's their plan to beat the Chigs. Okay? The entire plan focuses on an APC piloted by remote carrying corpses.
It's been done before.
These corpses are dressed, military,
Yeah.
official military stuff. One of them has a briefcase attached to his wrist with plans on the upcoming human offensive. They're fake plans, of course. That's why they're being carried by corpses on an APC piloted by remote. The interesting thing for me with this one is that the plans for everything is written in Navajo. Navajo in World War II was used by the code talkers, and nobody could freaking break this code. So the fact that these aliens already speak Navajo and can understand it is just one of those icings on the cake for me. Let's see. It kind of goes back into Navajo legends about the ant people and everything.
Okay.
If you're a regular viewer of Ancient Aliens, you already know where this is going.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So the whole conflict comes by them compartmentalizing information about what they're doing. They don't tell the 58, which is the squadron assigned to fly with the APC and deliberately let it get scrapped.
To make it look as realistic as possible.
Yeah, until they get
Sell the lie.
Snoopy and decide to go take a look for themselves. And
oh, they don't, do they?
Oh yeah, hilarity ensues.
No, then the vicar turned up.
Yeah. The general then briefs them on the entire plan,
because
rather than just telling them, "Shut up, mind your own business, do what you're told."
I'm sure Spanky will have something to say about that. What are you doing, little dog?
Was the general named Finch?
No,
you got a problem with that man, haven't you?
No, he was a Navajo guy. I forgot his name, but he had a connection to the person carrying the plans. Apparently, the person carrying the plans came from the same reservation, and the general realized that he could go one way or the other being turn out exactly like the corpse in the chair. The corpse apparently killed a superior officer and then was executed. But in death,
execute a corpse.
No, he wasn't a corpse when they killed him.
Well, he was, because he was dead.
They made him a corpse.
Right. I'm confused.
Yes, they corpseified him.
Unalived him.
Unalived him.
Right.
Yeah, unalived him.
And in death, the general decided to give him some honor and let him carry the fake plans to the enemy to make them believe this is what was happening. Spanky, did you see this one?
I did.
What did you think?
I thought it was good. Well, they're unashamed about it because Space Above and Beyond is basically what we're doing space, but they're unashamedly referencing this one particular attack and technique they used to fool the Nazis about the actual date of D-Day and where it was going to happen and all that. And it was a good idea, and it worked very well. And I love the whole Navajo thing that they bring in there, and that lets you get your Ancient Aliens on. And it's just a shame because this is when this episode, the one before, it started actually finding its feet and getting its own momentum and finding its voice, and it becomes its own show rather than just all this crap kind of mashed together that they're still trying to work out what it is and how it's going to play and if it's going to be good or not. And it's looking like it could be good, and it could be a lot of cool things. And then, of course, Fox dropped the axe because that's what Fox does. Mm-hmm. They take good things, the Tick, Millennium, God knows, was it that one with the spinoff from the X-Files with the lone gunman or whatever?
Yep.
The little conspiracy nuts. There's so many shows that they've had that they killed after one season.
Firefly
is probably the biggest one that they really screwed the pooch on. They could have made so much money on that, but.
And yeah, what season are we in on Masked Singer or whatever?
Oh my God, yeah, and that's still going on. And they had like Giuliani on there, and what's her name, the governor of Alaska, and all those idiots. Like, yeah, right, okay, that must be like Rupert Murdoch financing that out of his own pocket or something. I think is what's going on there.
Yeah.
Something very
Yeah,
interesting
so-
happening between Murdoch, Fox, and Trump at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's in
Uh-huh.
the papers. Well,
That's
on
going to get
TV
settled
also.
out in court, and it's going to be hilarious. But yeah, I thought they were doing so good at this, but it unfortunately was too little, too late. And then it comes out into the later episodes. You get to see where they all kind of know it's coming, and so
That's a shame.
No, it's because it had so much potential, and it just wasn't allowed to achieve it, and that's unfortunately the problem with Hollywood and with any kind of publishing industry, anytime you're doing art for money, right? It's publish or perish or what have you. It's
Yeah.
if whoever is making the decisions on is this good art or not doesn't think it's going to make them enough money, well, it doesn't matter how good the art is because they're going to shed can it, and that's just
I'll just say this.
Unfortunately,
Adios,
yeah.
motherfuckers. Okay. You got, what, 2 episodes
causes
left
a lot
of
of
this,
bad
haven't
things
you?
happening there.
Yeah.
Say again?
You got 2 episodes of this left, then we're doing Edge of Darkness.
Yeah. Did you watch it a little bit by any chance?
No.
Okay. Oh,
Did you want to watch it?
Cool. Yeah, you can
No.
join us.
I'll be honest, I don't have time.
No problem with that. Yeah.
You don't have to
I'm
blame
sure
time.
if
You
there's
can just say
anything
no.
on that.
Yeah, it's all right. It's allowed.
I don't. I spent the afternoon grading essays. I'm my own worst enemy. I assigned them, and now I have to grade them.
Now you have to grade it, man.
You're making your own work.
Yep.
But
think-
we've got one more week before the end of term, so I'm.
You know what you should do? Just trade them out. Just tell everybody, okay, you've written your essay. I've read them all. Here, I'm passing them back in random order. You guys grade them.
There have been times where we used it as an exercise to understand the grading rubric.
Yeah, that's fair.
I anonymized them.
Yeah, cool.
So they didn't know whose they had, and then they graded them using the rubric, and then but I can't just put a student graded grade in a grade book.
No,
I've got to
right,
actually
no,
grade it
no.
myself because
Yeah, right.
ethical issues. But yeah, we have used those things as exercise before.
I like it.
Because I've got almost 200 students. So anytime I
Oh.
assign something,
5-page essay. No.
no. Their last one was 300 words. Because I can
That's a
fly
fair
through
paragraph.
those.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's why you need a TA.
I have one, but they're not allowed to grade.
Ah.
Really?
Yeah, because it's another student.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Ethically,
why.
they
yeah,
can't
yeah.
grade.
Oh, gotcha. Uh-huh.
So they can put up bulletin boards. They can make copies. They can reorganize things in the classroom. They can do all those kinds of things, which are extremely helpful, but they can't grade or do anything
Yeah.
that would impact on somebody else's.
You definitely need like a teacher apprenticip program where you
yeah,
got
we
a
have
flunky
them.
teacher for a year.
We
And
have them. I have not taken the training.
Hmm.
I have enough years in my, but I have to take a specific training to do that, and it keeps just not being the right time. I meant to take it this fall, and it just didn't happen. So I've got to take. It's like a 3-month training before you can have an intern.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So
I'll
I'm
take a little bit of. It might ease things off a little bit for you.
yes, it will. It absolutely helps having another student helping.
See, we never used to have that. We only had one teacher in a class of about 28, 29 kids, maybe more.
Yeah, our max class size is supposed to be 30, but the legislature doesn't actually want to pay for that. So it's considered average. They average it instead of doing per class. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So when I was
Thanks
teaching
for
online, my
understanding.
average class was 40. Now that I'm in person, I go. Every class has at least. I think my smallest class is 28 and my largest is 34.
That's roughly what I remember school class sizes being, to be fair.
Yeah.
And that's
And
a teacher without an
Yeah, it's
assistant.
just me. I have my teaching assistant comes in one period, because they don't have they passed another class and so they have an opening in their
I
schedule.
always felt, well, nowadays I feel sorry for teaching assistants because occasionally one would come in just to take over from a teacher who had to go off and do something. And, we must have come close to reducing some of them to tears. And this is primary school. This isn't secondary school. This is, 6, 7 years old. Dear.
Little
I've been-
kids
I
are
did some
assholes.
things. Yeah, little kids really are assholes. You're not wrong there. Callan. Spanky, I discovered something.
Gesundheit.
Thank you very much. I discovered something interesting before we, just before the show. We've been looking at Callan in the wrong order. It doesn't matter. You're muted, by the way, love. No,
Have we now?
no,
Okay.
no. Well, no, I mean, I can hear you, but
Ready then? Let's see.
but this is essentially the last
Well, you
episode.
kept correcting me, and when I would put things up, so I'd go, okay, but I thought I had a good list, but I might have.
No,
had a bad
no.
list.
Your list was correct. I was just going by the YouTube list, the way it was listed on YouTube. and it
yeah, you
isn't
should never
listed
do
on the
that.
well, I did because I'm an idiot.
Uh-huh. I know.
So whatever it is, the final episode we'll be looking at for season 3 of Callan. And it, in this order, it actually sort of makes
Is that
sense.
me breaking up, or did you just break up real bad?
Did I break? Oh, I don't know. Did I break up?
No.
It was you.
Okay, so that was me. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you said because my internet was making you sound like Max Headroom.
Fair enough. Why can't I get to sleep? What was I going to say? Oh, yes.
So-
Basically, this is the last one of season 3, Spanky. For us, anyway.
Game of Screen? Is that what you want to do? Is that
No, it's Breakout.
that's the actual last episode?
No,
of
no,
3.
Breakout.
What was the one for tonight again?
Breakout.
Okay, yeah.
Are you
Breakout's
there?
good.
Are we good?
We're good.
We're good. Okay.
Breakout's a good episode.
It is a very good episode. And like I say, because we're looking at it as the last one of season 3, even though we've got that wrong, it actually leads into the first episode of season 4 very well indeed. Basically, it opens with a guy running through London, your London streets as usual, runs up to a policeman and hands himself in, saying he's been a spy. And Mears and somebody else were following him, and that's why he's done it, to get protection. Because he's then arrested, he's put in prison. He can't be touched. Which is a problem for the section, because he knows too much, including Callan's name. Because Callan started to make a bit of a noise. People are noticing him now. I've been pointing this out as we've been watching these. It's sort of saying they've been building him up and building Hunter's respect up for him. So what they've decided to do is to break this guy out of prison, take him a few hundred miles to the Dover coast or the Deal coast or whatever it is, where there's a Russian ship moored out in the bay, and then kill him. Not on the ship, but just leave the body in the sand, and make it look like it was a KGB job, because they do occasionally do it like that. And so Callan has to train himself, Cross, and the other guy, whose name escapes me, because he died very quickly. Fool, what a fool. And he also, and I think, Lonely fucked it up for them as well, because they used Lonely to basically pass the messages on in prison.
And he pops up and, hey, mister, and he has to juke him.
All right, Mr. Callan. And
Yeah.
the guy knew Callan's name, so immediately alarm bells are ringing with him. This, of course, ties right
Lonely's
back into
does that kind of thing a lot.
It ties right back into the original story of this season, where Lonely's on remand, and Callan has to basically get him out on bail. And this is now the trial. He's had the trial. He's been sentenced to 6 months, which he can't wrap his head around, because it's 6 months for each crime. And he's done about 20 some odd crimes, and he's thinking, cool, blimey, how long am I going to be locked up for? It's just 6 months because it's all supposed to run concurrently. And he didn't understand. That was quite funny. And so they go ahead. They break this guy out of prison. Lonely fucks it up a bit for him and gets a bit of a bruised head as a result. The guy cottons on, and there is then a small chase and shooty bang bang stuff. However,
Callan does what Callan does.
what is interesting again is how much is Hunter saying to him, look, they've noticed you now. You know, you are on lists. You're our top man. You know, they're after you. Spanky, did you enjoy this?
I enjoyed it immensely. And like all good episodes of Callan, this sets up a lot of things for the future.
It does, yes.
And what you just mentioned, you know, they've noticed you. That is immensely important very soon, as a matter of fact, for Callan.
Next week, to be honest.
Next week, right. And I like it because this leads into just a tiny bit more of character development for Lonely, really.
Yeah.
As much as he's a criminal, and it plays more in the later episodes, but you've seen it like in earlier episodes, he still is in some ways kind of innocent.
Yeah.
Even though he's a thief, he's been in prison on and off most of his life and all that. And I think that's probably Callan's draw towards him, why they're friends.
I think it's more than that. I think
It is more than that.
I think Callan saved Lonely's life at one point in prison.
He saved his life, but not just that. And it's not just because Lonely is handy as a second story man, but because there's something that Callan realizes he lost and wishes he hadn't. And that's one of the reasons why Callan is in some ways a little bit bitter. He
That was
recognizes
fascinating.
loss of his own innocence, you know, in the military and prison and all that, and you know, by becoming this killer, and you can see it when he has to do something dirty that goes against not society's moral codes, but Callan's moral codes, like when he has to threaten the woman about, you know, don't speak to the press or do this TV interview because in the episode before this or the one before that, right, tells her not to talk to the reporters and whatnot because, or, you know, things go badly for your kids or this, that, or the other. It's distasteful to him, but he still does it. He hates himself for it, but, you know, I wonder if Lonely in that kind of position, would he actually put the bite on a woman like that? I don't know. Maybe he'd punk out, chicken out, whatever, but it doesn't really matter if he does it because of cowardice or because he's sticking to his code or he's just afraid to break it or whatever. If he doesn't compromise himself in the ways Callan does, then he still manages to salvage that little integral, that core piece of himself that, you know, Callan lost. So
Yes.
I don't know.
that's
It's a
fair.
weird dichotomy, their relationship. But
He's almost a child
very complicated.
character, to be fair.
kind of, yeah. That's why he still has a little bit of innocence left to him.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He can be scandalized at the thought of bribing a priest, you know, or saying talking to
But
a woman.
Mr.
to
Callan,
you know, things like
he's a
that, right?
spy. Yeah, it's
But
just-
he's a spy, and he's like just scandalized. He's going to be in a cell
yeah,
with
you
a
know, it's
spy.
with a spy. That's against
But-
Britain. That is.
I mean, you know, I'm not with these rapists and murderers. They're just fine blokes, but not a
Yeah,
spy.
they
Come
says
on,
that.
like,
But why put me with the spy, Mr. Callan?
why'd they put me with the spy? Yeah, just too funny.
Oh.
So yeah, like I said, a little bit of innocence. There's something about him still that keeps that piece of the child in him. Not because he's stupid or anything like that, but because he is what he is. I think that's what Callan loves about him as much as it annoys him.
This was a good one. This was fun.
That was a great episode.
Yep, a few hints to Callan's age, but they were gentle. But it's something they've been knocking on through the series a little bit. First of all, with Cross being the young stud who's full of himself and whatever. But in this one, it is a case of Callan is that
Cross
bit
in his
much
20s
physically,
and Callan. Yeah, Callan's almost twice his age.
But next
So,
one we're doing
yeah.
will be the first story from season 4.
Which
Like-
will be
which
hang
will
on,
be,
and I will tell you. That'll be the day.
That'll be the day. Yeah.
Mhm.
Things to look out for in this one. The spy Callan gets exchanged for. Okay.
Richmond.
That's the big one. Yeah, Richmond. That's the big one to look out for. I forget that you've already seen ahead. I'm thinking of our lack of viewers, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm under no illusions.
If we could just get like one other person to watch this show and geek on it like we do, I would be thrilled.
Well, Tim,
Because
like I
Callan
say,
was like,
Yeah, Tim
oh,
was
Callan,
such
you
a
mean?
great
Oh,
show.
right.
I'm saying, it is such a great show and it was so well written, so well produced, and for its time, so far ahead of its time. I mean, just wow.
It was a good one.
They couldn't redo this nowadays
No,
because
God
they would
no.
screw it all up with gaudy special effects and stupid shit.
It would be more
Instead
than
of
that.
going,
There'd be a
you know.
case of there'd be certain things they wouldn't be allowed to do.
That
to be
too, right?
fair.
They actually did try with the MI5 series
On
that
Spooks.
BBC did.
Spooks.
It was called
was called
MI5, right?
No, it was called Spooks. I think it might have been called MI5 in the States. Over here,
Maybe in the
it
States.
was
Yeah,
called
I don't know.
Spooks.
Maybe it was called Spooks over there. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they ended up killing off the main character, and they replaced him with that blonde girl, and all these other things. And you saw characters rotate through. They grew and developed. And you saw the toll this kind of life took on their personal lives and things. It was like Callan, character driven, not action driven.
That's
And
what
that's
I like
important.
about this.
Yeah,
be
that's
fair.
important in a storyline like this and in a show like this, because if it had all been about glitzy special effects, this would have been a one and done in the first season. And a lot of shows
You
end up
become
like that,
emotionally
but,
involved with this show, quite frankly.
You do, right?
The
Characters are very
are
complex.
so well
the writing is
drawn.
incredibly deep. And,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. You can't help but become emotionally involved. You're willing Callan on. You're willing Lonely on, especially.
oh yeah,
And that's a very clever thing to do, to capture the audience like that. I mean,
to make you
at
root
the
for
end
a
of
thief
season, I
and
mentioned
a
this before.
scumbag, basically, right?
I
smelling
mentioned before, shush, that at the end of series 2, when Callan was shot by Mears, people were scared it was going to be the end of Callan, and there were massive campaigns to bring Callan back. It was huge, and that's because people really did. The characters resonated with people, and I mean, series 3 has been interesting in that it's developed things. We've got a new, seemingly permanent hunter, who Callan has had the
Seemingly.
time to develop a relationship with, which is something we didn't get with the other hunters. They didn't last long enough. However, we will
Well,
be
this guy
seeing.
didn't get enough jobs at Doctor Who, I guess.
We
Just
will
that
be-
one shot in the Armageddon factor or whatever.
We'll be seeing the original Colonel Leslie Hunter in next week's show, in next week's Callan, which I think was a great thing to do, considering the context, and to get an actor back just for that. Fair dues, all right, it's a day out and a sandwich. But, oh, hello, something's doing a thing. I don't know what something was doing there. It sounded like a USB had disconnected and then reconnected. Who knows?
I don't know. I moved
No,
around.
no. I
It
think it was
might-
from me. I think it was from me.
That's
Oh,
on
okay.
your end, I'm sure. We wouldn't hear that.
Yeah. No, it's I agree with you, Spanky. I could evangelicize, I think that's the word, I'm not sure, about Callan quite happily. I really could. It's it'll be
Yep.
interesting to see what happens next time Big Finish release some, if they do. See what you think of them. I might have
They've been
one.
doing Callan?
Yeah, man.
Holy crap, really?
Yeah,
Damn,
they've been
yeah.
adapting
Hook
the
a brother up.
newspaper stories and whatever. Well, we'll see what's what.
Wow.
We'll see how it all works out. Like I say, Big Finish are currently trying to kill me. Note to Nick
Yeah, I
Griggs,
get it.
that's
That's-
Big Finish
you
trying
know,
to
we
kill
all
me
try
because
that
of the
eventually.
sheer amount of stuff. Not that you're trying to. I think that you're thinking that you want to kill me.
Only on Sundays.
To be fair, he probably does.
I wouldn't blame him. I'm going to be honest. I mean,
Have the time and the energy. I plan on revisiting their Star Cops stuff because I really liked
Wow,
that series.
Star Cops was good, yeah.
we did
And,
that for a while. In fact, we did
did
all
you?
of
We
it,
did.
didn't you? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did all of it.
We did. Did you
Star
not join
Cops
us
was awesome.
on that? I can't remember.
I think
No.
I did, and
You did.
I wasn't impressed.
Okay, because that was you, me, Sinister, and Adam, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there for Star
And
Cops.
Spanky.
Spanky, were you?
Yeah, he was here for.
I think that was
Star
before
Cops.
Sinister.
Ooh. I don't know. I can't remember.
There were
There's
four.
been
Maybe there was no
151 of
Maybe
these
it was
damn
Sinister,
things.
Adam, you, me, and Brian.
62 Vidiprogs, about 250 flashing blades, Christ knows how many WhoCasts on 2 occasions, staggering stories and guest appearances all over the place. How am I supposed to remember things? I want my own TARDIS
You're
wiki
not.
page, all right? That's what I'm saying here.
Don't know why you even bother anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone deserves one. I deserve a TARDIS wiki page. I'm going to sulk now. But mind you, saying that, there's the worry what they might say about me and what might be true. That's it for today's show. What are you doing next week, Brian? What are you doing next week?
Working. Mm-hmm. Lots of working.
Trying not to get too frustrated, I hope.
I hope not, because last week was from hell.
You need to think of your blood pressure, love. You're not as young as you were.
I think I need to remind them that if I walk,
They're screwed.
they'll have no one else to do this stuff.
Fair enough.
Irreplaceable.
That's what Adam used to do. Oh dear. A little bit. What are you up to this week?
This week just work. Last week before spring break. So hopefully smooth. Didn't tutor last week, but hopefully tutoring this week. Last week I ended up having to replace a tire on the car, which is never any fun. But thank heavens for Fix-A-Flat kits. Didn't have.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If in spring break in Florida for Florida students,
Uh-huh.
where do they go?
I would actually go to the beach.
They're at the...
But no, we're not at the beach.
Oh, okay.
We're about 2 hours inland, and there's
Okay.
an awful lot of Florida where they're nowhere near the beach. Now I grew up near the beach, relatively speaking. We're about half an hour away, and we still hardly ever went.
I can't imagine being 2 hours away from the beach. I genuinely
Yeah.
cannot imagine it. I grew up on an
Yeah, we're
island,
about 2 hours.
tiny island. You were about 10 minutes away from the beach.
Yeah.
I'm about
I-
6 hours away from the beach.
Oh dear.
But yeah, hopefully next week will be normal, and then the week after that, my mom and my sister and my brother will be here for a couple of days, and
If you
we're
can't
gonna
make the
put
show,
Dave
don't worry.
Ashes in the Reliquary, and
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
yeah, and that's Tuesday morning, and then we're gonna go to IKEA for something different to do.
Oh God, just hope you
Because-
can fight your way out. Find an exterior wall
Well-
and just plan on exploding
well,
the hole through
My
it.
dad said, "Well, it's something different to do, while your family's there, because it's in Orlando, so it's a bit of a drive." I
Going
never-
to an IKEA? It's Orlando, for Christ's sakes. You could do so much else. But IKEA?
No, okay. First of all, I need a lamp, but secondly, my sister wants to go, and the closest one to her is like a 3.5 hour drive. so if she's
How
here
big
any-
is your car?
Well, mine's fairly small, but my sister has a van.
Ah, right. Okay, good. That was the
for
first
children.
question.
So yes, she's got a big car. But my dad said, oh well, that's not something you normally go do by yourself. And I said, no, because people who go into IKEA by themselves never come back out.
That's right. They're
This is
never
true.
seen again.
This is exactly true.
They're never seen again.
What do you think's in the meatballs?
yeah, so we're gonna go do that. Not this coming week, but the following week. So yeah, it'll be this week. Will just be work
Work.
and crazy work as the.
Work.
I think we're getting closer
Work.
to a full moon.
mean, not that kind of work.
Right.
That would explain a lot.
The children go
Yeah.
a little bit crazy.
That should be tonight,
Really?
actually. Yeah, tonight, tomorrow.
Well, I never.
Oh yeah. The
Fascinating.
science says it doesn't have any
Ask any
connection.
nurse. Don't
but
go
it
to the
does.
hospital on a full moon.
Never,
Yeah,
never,
they
never,
go a little
never.
mad.
Mind you, you
And
might
the
see
week
some
before break.
fascinating things. Things people have done, stupid things people have done. Forget having heads in saucepans. We're talking really good stuff. Brian, you're looking at me as if I'm deaf. Oh, okay.
No.
I have seen my share of mad things. So, and had to say things like,
So speaks a teacher.
"No one wants to smell your socks." Just because the hand sanitizer smells nice doesn't mean it tastes nice.
That's right.
Martin.
This is how we
Sorry,
beat
Ralph.
out the week.
Ralph. Yeah. Anyway, what about you, Spanks?
The Ralph Wiggums. This week, let me see.
You got to rest and try and get over this cold you've
And
had.
try and rest and get over this cold, hopefully. I'm sure there are things I'm supposed to be doing that I probably won't. I will be mailing a box of things out to Hex.
30th he goes in,
Toys
isn't he?
for his son, actually, my nephew. Because we shipped mom out during the plane and she had this mountain of stuff. She was I'm gonna take all this on the plane with me, and she a pickup truckload of stuff, and she just didn't get it has to fit in a bag, and she brought 4 giant suitcases. We'll put them in here, and no, mom, I'll just mail it. It's okay. So I'll be mailing things, and I think that will probably be the biggest, most important thing,
Fair enough.
because other than that, I'm gonna lay around and read a lot if I can
got-
get away with it. Yeah.
I'm
Good.
either popping around to see our brother from another podcast, Adam Purcell, sometime this week,
There you
or
go.
we're going to play WoW Ascension.
Yeah, and there might be some of that going on.
Well, it would be
Could
nice.
be,
I've
could
been on
be.
my own. I have been bored and lonely, Spanky.
I've been bored and sick, so I'm laying right there, just going, oh, and occasionally.
You expect sympathy, damn you?
No. I've been popping between Netflix and HBO and Crunchyroll and whatever to watch anime or series or whatever. I've been binge watching The Mentalist over again because it's just such a good series. So that kind of thing.
I'm making my way through Critical Role at the moment. Sorry, Legends of Vox Machina.
There you go.
I told you it was good.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I dressed up as my character last night. That was fun.
It was actually very well done.
I have to admit, what were you thinking I was going to do? Because you were so horrified, and the look of relief
I
on your
didn't know.
face.
There was
The look of
I had
relief
no
on your
idea.
face when I.
I should come out as my character one time. I've got the
I
tattoos.
don't know
just only
because
need
you made your
loincloth.
character eat fucking fingers.
I
Yeah, that was
didn't
weird.
eat the finger. It is currently on a chain around my neck. I just bit it off. And I'm
It
desperate.
doesn't help.
I'm
You know,
desperately
that
sad that
doesn't
my
sit with
friends and
people. You've got
comrades,
rotten, stank
after
ass
I'd
fingers
gone
hanging
and
around
got
your
the
neck on a
money,
chain, okay?
essentially,
Yuck.
got the money safely back to the ship, my friends and colleagues couldn't be
You
bothered.
didn't
to
remember
take
you
a
could turn into something the size of a bus.
I thought we were
and
going to run out
fly.
together. I thought we were going to run out together, you see, and I had my whirlwind lined up, and I'd got that plan in my head. I admit last night I also had trouble working out on the map what was a wall, and then what was a window, and then, hang on, no, windows in this time period don't have glass, they have bars, it's a prison. Yeah, that took a while to percolate down through into
Yeah,
my
yeah,
head, if I'm
glass.
honest with you. So in the end, I just
Just
opened the
glass,
door.
all kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a bit slow on the uptake there last night, I will admit. But I very much enjoyed it. You're very good at this.
Oh God, no, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No,
Yes, you are. You are. Yeah.
Don't tell me I'm good because I'll stop trying.
There you go. You suck. Okay, we'll keep that in mind.
Hopefully, Two Found Dinosaurs next Friday. Hopefully. Don't know. No idea what's happening.
Hopefully.
There's a chance. And we'll do episodes 3 and 4, The Keeper of Traken. And then no role playing next Saturday, so the next one will be Flash and Blade with The Time Monster, the new 4th Doctor box set from Big Finish that I can't remember what it's called.
Yep, we'll figure that out.
The penultimate episode of Space: Above Beyond. And you said there was 2 left, so I'm guessing it's the penultimate episode. And then the first episode of Callan Season 4. So, yeah, that's us for next week.
You're going to make me look it up, aren't you?
Well, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to admit, I'll be glad if you didn't surprise me with the sudden episode.
Yeah. Episode 23, and if they lay us down to rest.
Hang on, is that the last one or the second?
Part 1.
Right. Okay, now how do you want to do this? Do you want to do this as part 1 and part 2, or do you want to just do it as one thing?
Honestly, I'm not looking forward to this Edge of Darkness thing, so let's do part 1 and then the next week part 2.
Trust Auntie. That's all I'm going to say. Trust Auntie.
Okay. You said that about life on Mars.
This is not like Life on Mars.
Okay.
It starts off
You
as...
said this about Out of the Unknown.
Oh, I don't know. It was an anthology. This is just 6 episodes.
Okay.
And it's a story that builds and builds and builds.
Okay.
And takes some...
Are there ghost rapists in this one?
Are there what? Sorry, love?
Ghost rapists in this one, like Out of the Unknown?
No.
Because that one traumatized me.
No. This is very realistic.
And Spanky's
He has. No, this is essentially set in the real world. This
Okay.
could happen in the real world, except for the ending, which is... And when we get there, I'll tell you about the original ending, but we won't mention that right now.
Okay.
But I think you'll like Edge of Darkness. Like I say, it's a slow build. Hello, UK 4NDR4R. Hi. Oh, it's UTK. What do you reckon that means? Do you reckon 4NDY means Andy? No. I don't know.
do?
I don't know. I'm looking at chat. How are we, boys and girls? He's coming at the start of the show, apparently.
You're good. How are you?
We're just about to go.
Round in a circle.
Yeah, what the hell? We're just
Convince
about to
me
go.
you're not a bot.
Oh, good. If the next thing I say is true, but the last thing I said was a lie, would you believe me?
If you were a robot and you didn't know, but I knew, would you want me to tell you? Oh, yeah, it's a bot.
Do you want some fun?
No.
Oh,
No. I have to deal with this kind of stuff at work now.
bot baiting.
But they answered all my questions. They're a bot.
Anyway, yep, so that's us. We'll see you either next Friday or next Sunday. Have a good week, boys and girls and gentle beings.
Yes,
have
you
a good week, everyone.
You too.
I've now got to try and pull up the correct file on the correct player. Yeah, that's what it's done. That is what it's done. Right, you ready? Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
God help me. Yes!
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
How many Freddos is a John Levine worth? Goat. Told you.